It certainly is a big bun.
It's a very big bun.
Big, fluffy bun.
It's a very big, fluffy bun.
Where's the beef?
Some hamburger places give you a lot less beef on a lot of bun.
Where's the beef?
At Wendy's, we serve a hamburger we modestly call a single. And Wendy's single has more beef than the Whopper or Big Mac. At Wendy's, you get more beef and less bun.
Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there.
You want something better. You're Wendy's kind of people.
All right. Thanks to Scheinfeld for giving us an opportunity to watch such an awesome commercial right off the bat. But he insinuates and he asks this question, where's the beef? And kind of lets us know that what he's talking about more is what is argument, or where's the argument. I initially interpreted his use of this phrase as where's the substance, and I think based on that commercial, I think I could probably make a pretty strong argument to say that he's essentially asking where's the, perhaps others are wanting to know where the substance of the in the digital humanities, its product, if you will. What are the tangible questions and answers, artifacts, monographs, these products that then constitute the output for our discipline. And so I think he's kind of essentially asking that question, saying that. And so then he asks the question, when? Well, when will this happen? And so he kind of reasons out that through these other types of events that have taken place in other disciplines, etc., that there's a period of time that takes place where the tools are still being developed, the tools are still being utilized, and so it's, in essence, he says, it's coming. So he relates this time element to his own discipline, the history of science, and much like that discipline went through a period of more methodology, perhaps, and less theorizing, so too will digital humanities go through something very similar. So on your screen, obviously, is a Wordle of Scheinfeld's article that we read this week, and obviously we've looked at these in class before, but the three articles I'm going to mainly focus on: Scheinfeld, Eyman, and then I will end up with Mahoney and Perazzo, and so we'll kind of see a difference in each of these, each individual's article. So we'll switch now to Eyman, and so Eyman gives us some of the digital rhetoric method. Starts off talking about close and distance readings and these methodologies, research methods that we perhaps would employ. And as our Wordle shows us, digital methods, writing, research, and analysis, obviously were the key points. Some things that stood out to me as very interesting is, and I thought at least, I really enjoyed his digital writing research according to these three different researchers. So I'm going to quote James Porter, which was quoted in Eyman. And Porter says, digital writing research takes a cyborgian view of and a networked view of human communications. It is not simply old methods applied to new events or practices. It represents a new way of looking altogether, an approach that emphasizes the role of production, delivery, and technology in human communication, but even beyond that, acknowledges the hybrid, symbiotic relationship between humans and machines. And I think that that's a good, at least it was good information for me, because I've always been kind of wondering how would I look at this and view this, and it's not just simply taking old methods and applying to these new situations. I know we've mentioned that in class, but I kind of had one of those epiphanic moments, I guess, in reading this and looking at very specifically in this symbiotic relationship between humans and the machines. And Kevin Depew furthers that as rhetoricians, we should examine more features of the communicative situation rather than an artifact it produces: the rhetor, the audience, the digital text, and the context, i.e. the rhetorical triangle. And maybe it is interesting, and maybe that it is by design, that Depew does not identify what perhaps would go in the center. And I would probably assume in this context that the discussion of the digital text or discourse might be at the center of that, but perhaps that there would be a situation where the setting up of the triangle was more specific as to a text that is digital, and that considered this hybrid symbiotic relationship between humans and machines. Eyman furthers that engaging context and expanding the scope of research methods to include the textual, the social, and the rhetorical situation provide a platform for digital rhetoric research. And I obviously would agree with that, but I like the way he talks about the ecology, and Eyman has talked about ecology before, and environment. So I was thinking we might ask ourselves, If the ubiquity and access to the digital world, this hybrid and symbiotic relationship, perhaps has any adverse effect, since students' environments can be altered by outside influence. And so I thought that might be something that would be interesting to think about. Depending on, a student can be at their house, a student can be anywhere, and their outside digital environment, their ecology can then be altered. And so that's something we should consider and regard. However, Eichmann cautions before such a platform can be fully articulated and deployed, the methods that work within it must be identified and in some cases deployed. So here we might be speaking a little bit back to Scheinfeld, perhaps a little bit, and that maybe we're in the deployment stage, and these tools are now in the process of being used. So Eichmann gives us the CODE, the code, the network and admin tools, studying web usage via the server log analysis, social network analysis, hypertext network analysis, etc. And I think the rest of the readings speak to the many methods that we have for use in the digital humanities. And I think it's with, if I'm saying this right, Mahoney and Perazzo. We might call this particular reading maybe our iSearch Manifesto for those of us teaching 1020. And so I think it's very interesting in the Mahoney and Perazzo piece how they do describe and talk about the types of transferable learning, thinking learning, I think is what they called it more specifically. And so, and as we can see, a big difference even in this one where we have students kind of at the center, and I guess that's maybe where I will probably make my argument and even make some suggestions as far as how we might look at this. So where is the beef? Where is the substance of our focus and attention? Hopefully there can be a balance of substance that takes into consideration that many methodologies for digital research, as well as teaching methods that maximize transference and making lifelong learners able to critically read, think, and write, can all have a place, essentially. So lastly, I think I would like to propose the following. The readings this week really focus on the methods we would use to examine a corpus of texts, from the literary tradition to the rhetorical edition, but there seemed to be a missing category. I felt like maybe there was, and maybe I missed it, but something between student and sources, more specifically a program that would evaluate their use of sources. I think it would be interesting to know perhaps from where in texts students quote the most frequently. We would all probably assume that A that's probably in the opening paragraph or the last paragraph, maybe obviously much less quoting from the middle of text. But I think I would like to know mostly, would those mostly be C students? Quote from the first and second paragraphs, and maybe the first page or the last page. And so what were the differences of the habits of mind between A and B students that we could then extrapolate and then inform through the types of thinking classes, as Mahoney and Perazzo suggest, are the most important because they are the most deeply embedded and the most transferable. So I think therein lies that kind of digital writing research. I think is where we will get the majority of our substance for digital humanities. All right, so I can't end this without, we're going to go from old school to new school. So here is, and please enjoy this. This is, now we know where the beef is.
Where's the beef? Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? Where's the beef?
Introducing Wendy's thickest, hottest, juiciest cheeseburgers ever. Dave's Hot and Juicy, with new toppings and a buttered toasted bun.
They should.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. I'll see you in class.